Good evening and thank you for joining us. Real estate prices might be falling in Vancouver right now, but it is far from a fire sale out there. And now a new survey ranks Vancouver as the second most unaffordable city in the world. The survey compared median house prices to median household incomes in more than 300 cities around the globe. It shows only Hong Kong is more expensive. But as Andrew reports, there are those who say the survey is way off.
It's a world-class view that seems fewer and fewer people can afford. Just ask this real estate agent. Many of his clients have been forced to look outside of Vancouver.
Especially young families that maybe aren't as established in the real estate market, looking for more affordability or better bang for the buck. And they've ventured out to areas like Coquitlam, Langley, Maple Ridge, things like that, where it's a little bit more affordable for them.
An American consultant firm that specializes in urban planning wouldn't be surprised to hear that, because it's ranked Vancouver as the second least affordable city for housing in the world. Demographia looked at 337 metropolitan cities around the globe and placed Vancouver second behind Hong Kong for unaffordability, followed by Sydney, Australia, San Jose, San Francisco, and London, England. Are you at all concerned about the future and be able to afford property in Vancouver?
Definitely, yeah. I think I'll be renting for a while or buying with someone else, unless I win the lottery.
And I worry about my kids being able to buy a house in Vancouver or a condo in Vancouver because the prices are too high.
The study attributes the lack of affordability to a city's failure to maintain a competitive land supply. In other words, if there were no constraints on urban development, prices would go down. But local economists challenge that theory. They say it's not a true measure of the Lower Mainland.
Really, the main factor in the Lower Mainland is that we do have a constrained land supply, mainly due to our geography. We are surrounded by the mountains. We have limits on the west by the water, and of course on the south by the U.S. border. So we can only grow upwards or towards the east.
The results for this study were calculated by taking the median housing price divided by annual median household income. Demographia's calculations have determined places like Detroit, Atlanta, Cincinnati, and Cleveland are the most affordable markets.
The places that tend to look affordable are cities where the markets have had extreme downturns in their housing market, like Detroit or Las Vegas. So it's kind of, when you're comparing across this kind of skewed, uneven sample, you're going to get some, I could tell you what the most unaffordable cities were just by knowing where they are.
Still, there's one thing economists agree on. Vancouver is still expensive and will likely remain that way as the city grows.
And that brings us to one young man who, when faced with the high cost of housing in Vancouver, made the tough decision to go his own way. He's chosen to live in a van that he bought and converted for exactly that purpose. Now he pays just $200 a month to keep a roof over his head and has chosen to simplify the rest of his life as well.
30-year-old freelance graphic designer Matthew Arthur starts his day like the rest of us. He climbs out of bed and brushes his teeth, but he does most of his moving around crouching down in a space that's about 45 square feet in size.
Worst? That. But I'm learning.
This 5 feet 10-inch man is taking micro units and laneway living to the extreme. For $1,000, he bought a van and converted it into living quarters, complete with a sink.
So it's my sink and a little hand pump.
Outlets for a heater and lamps, a fridge, and stove with one pot where he can make his morning tea. He hasn't tried to cook any meat yet, and he even has 3 plants. Okay, what about other things people are going to wonder about bathrooms?
You would be surprised how many bathrooms exist everywhere. And I use them, so.
Shower?
I shower at yoga every day.
Matthew pays $200 a month for the off-street parking space in East Vancouver that includes hydro and laundry. Before this, he and his brother paid $1,700 a month to live in one of Vancouver's first laneway homes. But his brother was moving out, and Matthew was confronted with where to live next in the city's expensive housing market.
My friends and I will joke, when you're looking on Craigslist for an apartment, it's like the most depressing thing, because they're all basement suites along Kingsway. That's what you get.
Matthew will live in the van for 1 year and he'll blog about his experience. The idea behind this wasn't primarily financial, and because of that, he's gotten some hate mail.
Privileged Pratt, I'm entitled. Why don't I just go live on the street? What I'm doing is totally meaningless. I have nice things. I have no right to feel uncomfortable. That's not what I'm doing. I'm living in a van because I wanted to, as a means of personal growth, reinvigorate my life and do something different.
With all the money he's saving, Matthew hopes to get a piece of land and convert a cube van to live in permanently.
I probably will never own a home in Vancouver because it just doesn't seem smart. I mean, I want to travel. I'm okay with the trade-off. And yes, there's moments of being uncomfortable, but it's not substantially different from living in a real house.